missing half the songs it knew. Bartender stacking empty glasses under lights of faded blue. Rain keeps tapping on the front door window, like it's asking to come in. Whole room carrying old stories under weathered skin. Midnight got a strange forgiveness for the hearts that lost their way. Everybody here is searching for one more reason to stay. Ashes of a jukebox still burning in the dark. Jukebox, dust dancing in the light. Funny how a broken melody can save your life tonight. Used to sing in little roadside taverns for a meal and gas money. Used to trust every silver-tongued dreamer, talking sweet and running free. Now I know the value of surviving and the price of standing tall. Every scar becomes a rhythm when the blues starts to call. Every goodbye taught me something about being brave. Maybe hope ain't loud and flashy, maybe hope arrives slow, like an old song from a jukebox you thought you'd never know. Smoking rain, whole room moving like believers, trying to heal the pain. Ashes of a jukebox, last call ringing low for a couple wild midnight hours. Nobody lets go. For a cinnamon roll and coffee before starting my day. Maggie always kept a jar full of lottery tickets by the register. said that one's been waiting for you, like she was reading fortunes. I laughed and spent $2, mostly to humor her, then stuffed it in my purse and forgot about it completely. Bakery lottery ticket, sweet surprise on a Thursday night, tucked between old receipts and coupons in my wallet. Yeah. Bakery lottery ticket didn't make me rich at all, but it paid for something better than money ever could. Turns out I'd won $800, not enough to quit my job, not enough for fancy vacations or a yacht in Florida. So I took Maggie and 3 friends to New Orleans for a weekend. We danced until our knees complained and laughed until sunrise. Funny how people imagine that happiness arrives in giant amounts, but most joy comes in small portions, shared with the right people. A road trip, a hotel room, a story worth repeating. Those are the prizes that keep paying dividends. Bakery lottery ticket still pinned to my refrigerator, not because of what it won, but because of what it started. Bakery lottery ticket, best $2 I ever spent. Bought a memory that keeps getting better every time I tell it. Yeah, a memory that keeps getting better every time I tell it.
Cherry smoke drifting through the motel hallway. Pink neon glowing on the wall. Woman in red heels counting quarters slowly near the old payphone by the hall. Ice machine humming like a tired gospel choir. Somewhere underneath the rain, everybody hiding from the silence in their own different ways. Streetlights melting on the windshield, like rivers running gold watching old detective reruns with the volume turned halfway down. Truck stop waitress smoking by the staircase, listening to the highway sound. Back in younger days, I chased excitement like it might erase the past. Now I find magic in the small things that never seem to last. Every time midnight travel, every rain-soaked avenue, everybody carrying heartache like an old perfume. Maybe nighttime keeps us honest. Maybe shadows help us heal. Maybe all these broken moments are the only things that's real. Cherry smoke motel, rain shining red and green. Whole downtown breathing slowly like a half-forgotten dream. Cherry smoke motel, last cigarette burning low. And for a couple smoky hours, nobody gotta go.
Vacancy sign flickering in the darkness, half the letters burned away. Coffee brewing in the lobby corner, same as every night and day. Truck stop waitress counting tips in silence, hair pulled back and eyes worn thin. Outside 18-wheelers rolling westbound, chasing somewhere they ain't been. Midnight keeps 1,000 stories hidden underneath the dust. Everybody carrying something they don't discuss. Diamond Dust Motel, glowing pale beneath the rain. Saxophone crying through the hallway like an old freight train. Diamond Dust Motel, room keys hanging on the wall. Funny how these forgotten places still remember it all. Old mechanic drinking black coffee slowly, listening to the local news. Young girl humming Patsy Cline songs, trying on her dancing shoes. I remember sleeping in my Chevy with a guitar and $20. Now these scars sing louder than the records that never brought much love. Town that changed my name, every dream that broke in pieces still left behind a flame. Maybe freedom ain't about arriving, maybe it's about the ride. Maybe old blues women keep moving with the moon as their guide. Diamond Dust Motel, shining gold beneath the storm. Whole night humming like a memory, quiet, ragged, warm. Diamond Dust Motel, last call echoing low for a couple smoky midnight hours. Nobody needs to go. Nobody needs to go. Vacancy sign flickering in the darkness, half the letters burned away. Coffee brewing in the lobby corner, same as every night and day. Truck stop waitress counting tips in silence, hair pulled back and eyes worn thin. Outside, 18-wheelers rolling westbound, chasing somewhere they ain't been. Midnight keeps 1,000 stories hidden underneath the dust. Everybody carrying something they don't discuss. Diamond motel, glowing pale beneath the rain. Saxophone crying through the hallway, like an old freight train. Diamond Dust Motel, room keys hanging on the wall. Funny how these forgotten places still remember it all. Vacancy sign flickering in the darkness, half the letters burned away. Coffee brewing in the lobby corner, same as every night and day. Truck stop waitress counting tips in silence, hair pulled back and eyes worn thin. Outside, 18-wheelers rolling westbound, chasing somewhere they ain't been. Ticket lady smoking by the platform, reading magazines from yesterday. Cold wind rolling through the station hallway, blowing paper cups away. Man in a wrinkled gray suit sleeping, radio low beside his shoes. Somewhere down the tracks a whistle crying, like an old familiar blues. Midnight trains and tired strangers, always got somewhere to go. Everybody carrying memories they don't wanna let you know. Last train through Memphis, rolling slow beneath the rain. Whole town glowing tired and golden, like a dream you can't explain. Funny how a lonely station still can feel so full of heart. A young couple dancing near the vending machine, laughing like they own the night. Oh, bartender from the corner diner, waving from the traffic light. Back when I was chasing fast tomorrows, thinking time was on my side. Now I like these slow, forgotten places where the quiet likes to hide. Every tight conversation shining silver on the rails. Whole city humming low and restless underneath those neon sails. Last train through Memphis, last call echoing low for a couple smoky hours. Nobody got a ride alone. Shop window glowing after midnight. Gold watches sleeping in a row. Street sweeper rolling down that avenue, moving slower than the cold wind blows. Ladies selling flowers by the bus stop, counting singles in the rain. Whole city wearing yesterday's troubles like a tattooed name. Midnight routes and crooked letters across the walls and cracked up signs. Everybody owes a little something to the hands of time. Midnight pawn shop queen, still shining through the smoke. Saxophone crying from the corner, every note a prayer and a joke. Shop queen, high heels clicking down the hall. Funny how the hardest women always rise after the fall. Sing for quarters in Louisiana, sleeping backstage on the floor. Used to trust sweet-talking drifters till I couldn't anymore. Now the bartender knows my stories before I even take a seat, and the band keeps playing Memphis grooves, heavy as the summer heat. Chipped and faded photograph, every road that disappeared, every lesson learned the hard way, still got me standing here. Maybe scars become your rhythm, maybe tears become your song, maybe old blues women keep dancing long after hope seems gone. Midnight pawn shop queen,
6:30 every Wednesday morning, the ferry leaves the harbor dock, carrying fishermen, commuters, and dreamers with nowhere urgent. I always sit beside the window with a paper cup in hand, watching sunlight spill across the water like fresh paint on glass. One autumn morning, a gentleman took the empty seat nearby, his newspaper folded neatly, his coat smelling faintly of cedar. For 3 straight weeks we nodded without saying very much, 2 strangers sharing silence like an unspoken ritual. Morning fairy coffee floating through the waking day. Some connections start quietly before they find their words. Morning fairy coffee, steam rising with the sun. Funny how the smallest moments can become important ones. Then one rainy crossing morning, the ferry rocked a little rough. My coffee nearly found the floor, along with half my dignity. He caught the cup before it spilled and laughed before I could. That was the first conversation of many that followed. People spend years searching for grand signs and certainty, yet most meaningful beginnings arrive without announcement. A shared smile, a simple favor, a seat that happened to be free. Tiny doors opening quietly into larger stories. Morning fairy coffee, still part of my routine today, though now there's always 2 cups waiting on the tray. Hey, morning fairy coffee, the best habit I ever found. I bought it looking for a sunrise and found much more somehow. Yeah, I bought it looking for a sunrise and found much more somehow.
were shuffling cards near the back room, while the old floor starts to shake. Woman with red lipstick by the railing, laughing through a cloud of smoke. Whole night hanging by a thin thread. One more dare, one more joke. Midnight got a crooked heartbeat, rolling with the river flow. Everybody chasing something they ain't ready to let go. Riverboat, red lipstick, burning bright against the rain. Saxophone crying from the ballroom, calling out my name. Riverboat, red lipstick, champagne dreams and Delta blues. Funny how a reckless woman still got something left to lose. Captain drinking coffee in the wheelhouse, eyes fixed on the bend ahead. Young lovers dancing like tomorrow was a thing to fear instead. I remember hitching rides through Jackson, singing hard for tips and gas. Now these scars sound better than perfection. Every year that passes fast. Sunday morning at the bus station, sunlight sneaking through the glass, janitor humming old soul records, watching strangers drift on past, coffee steaming from a paper cup now, newspaper folded on a chair, whole town waking nice and easy, like it ain't got a single care. Funny how the quiet moments sometimes hit the hardest way. When the noise finally disappears, you hear what your heart might say. Sunday vending machine, shining bright and faded blue, selling little pieces of comfort to the people passing through. Sunday vending machine, standing steady all alone. Funny how the smallest things can make a place feel like home. Young mom laughing with a little daughter, sharing chips and orange soda. Old mechanic reading racing magazines, waiting on a ride to Tulsa. I remember all those restless Sundays, thinking I was running late. Now I let the world keep spinning while I sit and appreciate. Just a rhythm of slowing down. Maybe grace lives in the ordinary. Maybe peace ain't hard to find. Maybe joy is sitting quietly, waiting for the right time. Sunday vending machine, golden sunlight on the floor, soft and easy, like it's never hurt before. Sunday vending machine, still shining through it all. For a couple simple moments, life don't feel so small. Queen 79. Half the lights didn't even work. The paint was fading from the sides. Some teenager challenged me, said, "Ma'am, this game's impossible." 10 minutes later, his jaw dropped when my score hit the top line. Sunset Arcade Queen, lighting up the leaderboard, making teenagers nervous without even trying. Hey, yeah. Sunset Arcade Queen, ruling lane number 3. Turns out growing older doesn't mean retiring from fun. By Labor Day, I had a nickname written on the arcade wall. Kids kept asking for advice, like I was some gaming legend. I told them the secret wasn't talent, lightning fast reflexes. It's staying calm when everything starts flashing and making noise. Everybody talks about aging like you're supposed to fade away, but nobody ever handed me a rule book saying that if joy knocks on your door, wearing neon lights and pinball bells, you ought to open up and let it inside. Sunset Arcade Queen, still holding that high score today, though somebody's probably practicing, trying to take it away. Sunset Arcade Queen, laughing all the way home, because life's a lot more fun when you refuse to act old. Yeah, life's a lot more fun when you refuse to act old. When you refuse to act old. Oh, yeah. Every morning around 8:30, I'd stop by Maggie's Bakery for a cinnamon roll and coffee before starting my day. Maggie always kept a jar full of lottery tickets by the register, claiming one of them was lucky, though nobody believed her. One rainy Tuesday she pointed at a ticket near the bottom, said that one's been waiting for you, like she was reading fortunes. I laughed and spent $2, mostly to humor her, then stuffed it in my could. Turns out I'd won $800, not enough to quit my job, not enough for fancy vacations or a yacht in Florida. So I took Maggie and 3 friends to New Orleans for a weekend. We danced until our knees complained and laughed until sunrise. Funny how people imagine that happiness arrives in giant amounts, but most joy comes in small portions, shared with the right people. A road tripping